honored to be joined by our colleague and friend, Aly Richards, who is the Chief Executive Officer of a great organization called Let's Grow Kids up in Vermont. How you doing?
Great. It's a pleasure to be here. Thanks for being in Vermont.
You actually came and spoke to us in Jersey a while back.
Yeah.
Let's make the connection, because the Turrell Fund is committed to early childhood education, early childhood, child care, quality child care. New Jersey, Vermont, right? But a lot of folks look at what you folks are doing here in Vermont and say they're the national model in terms of dealing with child care issues. Not perfect, but really good. Describe it.
Well, I appreciate that. Well, I think what it is we've decided that this is an incredibly important issue, and we made the case. You know, why everyone should care about 0 to 5. Early child education, it's the ultimate level playing field. It's the way to have the biggest impact, the greatest return on investment. So it doesn't matter if you care about economic development or workforce development, healthcare, resiliency against addictive behaviors, or creating character in a kid, or the future success and health of a child and the family and the community and the state, right? So we made our case, and then we focused on it. We picked one mission: high quality, affordable early care and learning for all. We put a deadline on it, 2025, and we're marching after it. So I think it's that focus.
What's the goal? Be clear again, Aly.
High quality, affordable, accessible childcare, early child education. It's synonymous for us by 2025. So it's different that we put a deadline on it too.
When it comes to the political will, when it comes to getting elected officials, mostly state legislators, because we're talking about state budget, to care about these issues, particularly involving our children, how hard has that been? What's the sell? Is it what you just said?
Exactly.
That it's not really just childcare?
Exactly, because sometimes people's initial reaction is, childcare, not really for me.
That's nice, but not my issue.
Exactly. Oh, kids. Oh, sure. No. It's the right thing to do, and it's the smart thing to do.
Make the case for the investment.
We know it's the best return on investment. So a child's brain is formed between 0 and 5, and they're no longer in the home anymore. They're no longer in the home. So where are they? They need some sort of childcare. It's got to be high quality to get these sort of outcomes that we're saying.
Define high quality. Make that come alive.
So in other words, it has to be a caring, person, an educator who is making that connection with that child, who is spurring that brain development in a safe and healthy and happy, and stimulating environment. We always say, it's science. It's not rocket science, it's science, and we have the blueprint. This is what drives me crazy. We know exactly what to do. We know about decades of research showing us how good this return on investment is, how it's the ultimate level playing field, how we spend millions of dollars as a society, billions as a society. In Vermont, it's hundreds of millions of dollars to actually fix problems along the lifetime of a person, which don't have to even start in the first place if we give them everything they need, 0 to 5. So it's smart and it's right. Of all the things we spend money for as government, as programs and across the board, why aren't we spending money on our children?
We say they are our most precious resource, but
I like to see the money where our mouths are.
Show me the money. By the way, if you just tuned in or if you're listening to us on the audio end, we are in fact coming to you from Vermont, Shelburne Farms, extraordinary place. Let's ask Brian and the team, show some exterior shots as we're talking about this to make this incredible place come alive. This is Coach Barn at Shelburne Farms. It is the Turrell Fund Day for Children. The focus is on the importance of love in early childhood. So let me ask you, a lot of that talk about love, Aly, comes from the great Fred Rogers, 1968, debuts before you were even born, debuts on PBS. Love and early childhood, make the connection.
Oh man, you did. It is simple. That's the thing, it's simple. Okay, what do we need? We need children to be cared for and loved, and we know how to do it. And so, but what we see is we haven't put any systems in place as a society to help this happen.
What do you mean systems in place?
So in other words, if we know that
systems are complex.
They are complex, but they help you focus on the simple, the important, love. Okay, so in other words, let's look at it this way. If these kids are no longer at home, they're spending the vast majority. It's just a change we've seen. Either families have to both work or the women want to work. There's changes and we haven't kept up with them. So where are these kids? They're out of the home, and we have not created a system that's funded in any way, that's supported in any way of, care outside the home. So in other words, then what's happening? You're scrambling and you're creating adverse childhood experiences.
Otherwise known as ACEs, adverse childhood experiences. Go
exactly.
ahead.
And so,
By the way, you can hear the conference going on in the
they're
other
having
room.
a good
Sorry,
time.
go ahead.
That's a successful conference. So, in other words, look, we need the best people caring for our kids in any setting. We know that's what we're going to get the return on investment for. That's the love. But we got to support them because they're not being paid anything. So
Childcare workers.
Childcare workers, early child educators, they're getting paid on average in Vermont, let's say $12 an hour. No benefits to speak of, no parity at all, even with a kindergarten teacher in the school system. So how can we say, all you need to do is focus on the kid with love, which is what we know these kids need. We all know it, we know it in our hearts, So if we know that, we should be paying wages that actually allow people to be with our kids and care for them, and not have to quit because they can literally make more money doing any other job, including retail or pumping gas.
Aly, does that require government action?
Absolutely. Think about it like this. How do we fund this right now? Parents pay. They're already paying more than they can afford.
Some are paying a third or more of their annual income.
40% gross household income we're seeing for all sorts of low-income to high-income families, okay? Basically, you're paying way more than you can afford if you're in any pay scale. But the other way that we're funding it right now is the people providing it are not paying themselves at all because they know they can't pay families more and they love what they do and they want to care for their children. So something's got to give. There has to be a funding stream that funds this work, and why not? We know it's the smartest thing to fund.
You are a mom of twins. 6 months, as we were about 6 months old.
Yeah.
So we were here last year and
I was pregnant, but it was a secret.
Yes. And you said something in your remarks at this Turrell Fund for Children conference that really struck me. You said with all the resources, the access, the contacts, the relationships you have, the expertise you have,
no childcare.
What?
Because it doesn't matter who
you had a hard time
are
getting childcare?
or what you know. No one has childcare. No one has childcare, especially for infants. And think about 2 infant slots. They're the most important in the brain development. It's the most important for workforce development if you're going to go back to work. And
6 months matters.
Big time. Big time. So that's the thing that we're talking about. I'm living it, which is just the irony is painful.
If you're living it, what about folks who don't have your contacts, relationships, expertise, experience?
Think about it. I have my parents nearby, a flexible employer, resources to hire someone because I can't find childcare. I need every single one of those supports to just, be a mom and a worker and work on something I love.
You said it breaks your heart to think about those other folks.
Think about it for a second. So if I have all of that and I'm still struggling, what the heck are other Vermonters doing? What are they doing?
Aly Richards is the CEO of Let's Grow Kids here in Vermont. We in New Jersey, with our initiative right from the start, NJ, both initiatives funded by the Turrell Fund, they care deeply about children. Let's include Nicholson, also involved in this as well. That's Aly Richards. I'm Steve Adubato. We're in Vermont.
Think Tank with Steve Adubato has been a production of the Caucus Educational Corporation, celebrating over 30 years of broadcast excellence. Funding for this edition of Think Tank with Steve Adubato has been provided by the Turrell Fund, supporting right from the start NJ, the Robert Wood Johnson Foundation, the Russell Berry Foundation, RWJ Barnabas Health, PSE&G, Wells Fargo, and by New Jersey Resources. Promotional support provided by ROINJ and by NorthJersey.com and Local IQ. Transportation provided by Airbrook Limousine, serving the metropolitan New York, New Jersey area.